We have so much to get into over the next few days. The news, it was kind of slow yesterday, but right now, I think I've got enough stories laid out, should carry us through the rest of the week into the weekend. Aaliyah Boston released a statement yesterday where she played her role to perfection as the biggest victim of the week. Last night, Tucker Carlson on Fox News, he leaked some audio where NBA executives are caught on tape admitting that they are afraid to upset China. Ratings for the ESPY should be released later today or maybe first thing tomorrow morning. I expect them to be a disaster of epic proportions. But we're going to start out with ratings for the Home Run Derby and the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. We have been covering ratings for Major League Baseball all season here on the channel. Both attendance and ratings throughout the league have been god-awful. I wouldn't put them in the dump category next to the WNBA, but Major League Baseball has a serious problem. Like I told you guys before, I want baseball to succeed. I enjoy watching the WNBA crash and burn. Besides providing a place where the city's trash can be deposited, the WNBA serves absolutely no purpose. Why would I waste my time watching junior varsity level basketball when I can watch real basketball in the NBA? Major League Baseball serves a purpose. For me personally, most of it's nostalgic. I loved Major League Baseball when I was growing up. The league represents tradition. Used to be a good representation of America. There were so many iconic moments happening on a baseball field. Remember when George Bush threw out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium after 9/11? That was an iconic moment. Sid Bream sliding into home plate Game 7 of the 92 NLCS, sending the Braves to the World Series. Iconic moment. The Red Sox coming back from being down 3-0 to the Yankees in the 2004 ALCS. They win that series, eventually win the World Series. That was iconic. That is something Major League Baseball is badly missing right now. Those legendary moments, legendary players, shit that will be remembered forever. The Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game. They used to be a big deal, but just like everything else associated with Major League Baseball, both have been on the decline for over 10 years. It wasn't that long ago that the All-Star Game was averaging 10, 11 million viewers. Past 5 years, they settled in around 8 and 8.5 million. Every year, the All-Star Game essentially runs unopposed. There's no competition. The biggest competition for baseball Tuesday night was America's Got Talent on NBC, which drew over 6 million. This time of year, most of your major television shows are on hiatus. Yeah, baseball's got to compete against streaming, but in terms of live programming, Major League Baseball was in a league of its own Tuesday night. Yet somehow, they drew the lowest ratings in the history of the league. Just 7.5 million people tuned into Fox Tuesday night to watch the All-Star Game. The Home Run Derby didn't perform any better. 5 years ago, the Home Run Derby was drawing 8 million viewers. You go back even further, the event drew over 10 million. Now, the media is claiming the 2022 Home Run Derby was the most watched in several years. Once again, this is another example of the media giving you a partial truth. Nielsen didn't start including out-of-home viewership until 2020, right around the time the NBA was setting record low ratings and trying to offset them with out-of-home viewing estimates. 6.9 million people watched the Home Run Derby on ESPN Monday night, one of the least watched in the history of the league. The Home Run Derby, that was something I used to watch every year. I'm sure many of you fall into the same category. But I was more pissed off Monday night that the Home Run Derby ran over its time slot and fucked up my DVR recording of the Derek Jeter documentary. Which, by the way, even though it aired almost an hour after it was supposed to start, the captain still drew nearly 2 million viewers on ESPN. That Title IX bullshit they aired a few weeks ago could barely break 100,000. This is exactly what I'm talking about when I say people don't give a shit about women's sports. I haven't been a regular viewer of Major League Baseball, 10 years now. I wouldn't even call myself a casual fan anymore. I lost interest in baseball, never came back. But someone like me, who doesn't give a shit about modern baseball, someone like me will tune in to watch a documentary about Derek Jeter. Now, if you want to view these ratings from a positive standpoint, there was a little bit of good news for Major League Baseball. Both the Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game outdrew the NBA All-Star Game and the Pro Bowl. The Derby actually outdrew the NBA's dunk contest too by over 2 million people. Now, if you want to consider that a success, I guess you can, but it still doesn't overshadow the major problems facing Major League Baseball. I don't think woke politics had anything to do with these record low ratings. Last year, you could blame Rob Manfred moving the event from Atlanta to Denver as the reason for the near record low ratings they set, but they lost 700,000 viewers in 12 months, and I don't think politics had anything to do with it. It wouldn't surprise me if they set record lows again next year due to lack of interest. People just don't care about all-star games anymore, and a lot of people don't care about Major League Baseball anymore. At least if you watch the NFL or the NBA version of their all-star game, you see actual star players, you see stars. What fucking mainstream star was on the field Tuesday night? If you're a casual fan of Major League Baseball, can you name one starter in the all-star game? From what I read, many of the so-called stars pulled themselves out of the lineup. A while back, I did a video about the lack of star power in Major League Baseball. I compared the name recognition of Mike Trout to LeBron James and Tom Brady. If I'm remembering these numbers correctly, LeBron James had something like 90% name recognition, meaning 9 out of 10 people on the street would recognize LeBron James if they saw him in person. Tom Brady was close to around the same number. Mike Trout, supposedly baseball's biggest star, Mike Trout was somewhere around 20%. I cover sports media every day. This is what I do every day. If you gave me 3 pictures and told me to identify Mike Trout, I don't know if I could do it. For all the shit I give the NBA, one thing I can't take away from them, they know how to market their star players. Even the WNBA. I can't believe I'm about to say this. And to be fair, this is probably because I spend more time covering the WNBA than I do Major League Baseball, but the WNBA generates more headlines and controversy. I can sit here and name more players in the dump than I can on the diamond. The WNBA is an atrocity. It's an absolute embarrassment. But at least they have an identity. What is the identity of Major League Baseball? What is it? Who is their target audience? Who are they marketing the league to? They don't have an identity because they don't have players with mainstream name recognition. The WNBA, as shitty as their identity is, at least they have one. The WNBA, they do a decent job marketing the woke welfare recipients occupying the dump. They consistently make headlines with their bullshit political opinions. Remember heading into the start of the WNBA regular season, they were actively campaigning against the overturning of Roe versus Wade. Remember that? It's just kind of ironic when you think about it. According to the shitfucks on Twitter yesterday, men are not allowed to have an opinion on abortion. I'm wondering how players in the WNBA get a pass on that. Jim Harbaugh, not allowed to speak on abortion, but the men in the WNBA can? Doesn't make sense to me. I was reading an article in The Athletic. They were giving these recommendations as to how Major League Baseball can improve ratings for the All-Star Game. And the recommendations, they're similar to what I've seen when the media talks about improving ratings for the regular season. Make the game faster. Give the fans more access. Make it a more TV-friendly product. Add another skills competition. Add another skills competition? You mean expand the event? People are not watching now. Why would anyone be thinking about expansion? Why would you think that would work? These fucking social justice warriors, they think the answer to everything is expansion. The WNBA can't draw flies to a fresh turd. What do? I know. Let's expand the league. We will offer fans more fresh turds and see if flies will come. Major League Baseball sets record low ratings. What do? Let's expand the events during All-Star Week. That way, ratings will be even worse. I was reading an article this morning published by Baseball Essential from 2017. It was talking about the lack of star power in Major League Baseball. The writer stated, "This is not cause for concern. The league is just waiting for one of their hot young prospects to hit their stride." That was 5 years ago. We're still waiting for that to happen. And who gives a shit about some hot young prospect? Can anyone name one player drafted in the MLB draft the other night? One player? Ratings for the draft were down 22% compared to last year, 780,000 viewers. Let me show you something. This graph shows ratings for opening night of baseball season on ESPN going all the way back to 2010. Opening day of Major League Baseball, it used to be a big deal. Both the NBA and baseball usually see a spike in ratings opening night, then they settle into their average. Just 2 years ago, baseball drew over 4 million on ESPN opening night. Now that 2021 number is deceiving because the game was rained out that year, but look at the decline in opening day ratings over the last 10 or so years. Where did 2.5, 3 million people, where did they go? The harsh truth is, there is no solution for Major League Baseball. There's no light at the end of this dark tunnel. The NBA fucks themselves. If the NBA could get out of their own way, quit being at war with their fan base, people would come back and watch. I had a viewer email me last month. He raised an interesting point. One of the reasons there's a lack of star power in Major League Baseball, more and more of the players we're seeing are foreign. And the reason for that is less American kids are playing baseball growing up. The viewer talked about travel ball and how kids are now playing baseball 12 months out of the year. It's expensive, so oftentimes the best athletes move on to other sports. But another thing travel ball does, it burns kids out on baseball. By the time they reach high school, maybe even college, they don't want to play baseball anymore. I thought it was an interesting point. Could be the reason that we're seeing less and less American baseball players in Major League Baseball. But seriously, I don't know the solution here. Normally I can point to areas of improvement when talking about the NBA or the NFL. I don't know what Major League Baseball can do to become a more attractive television product. I don't. Maybe you know the answer. Give me your thoughts. How can baseball get back into the mainstream? Also, why do you think they set record low ratings for the All-Star game? Give me your reasons. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, kc_btl84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys later.